Welcome to today's webinar and thanks for spending your morning with me. My name's Holly. I work on the customer success team here, and it's kind of my goal this summer to get everyone set up for success. So we've run a few different sort of campaigns before the summer starts, and this is the last part in that series. And it is, as I say, making sure that you're familiar with all the new features that we've released around registers and how to admin a booking. What we're going to be going through today is initially the booking journey, making sure everyone knows what it looks like to book an activity and how you can have those set up. So we'll get you all to book in. Then we'll look through registers as a coach, and then we'll move on to accident incident, adding a booking, moving a booking, managing add-ons, cancelling and refunding, and invoicing. And then we'll do a little bit of Q&A at the end. If you've got any questions as we go through, feel free to pop them in the chat while they're top of mind, and then I'll come to them at the end if I don't answer them sooner. So the first thing that I kind of wanted everyone to do, if you would be so kind as to join in, is to scan the QR code on the screen, and it's going to walk you through the parent booking journey. It might be a little while since you've last been through it, so just want to walk everyone through that. If you can book on for the 28th of July, choose if you want extended hours and then use the code TEST100. It will make it completely free. You can choose if you want to send it to a dummy email or something like that, and top marks for the best fake name that we can put on there as well. What that's then going to do is populate our register, and we'll have loads of names on there as well. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that, and I'll also walk through the process here as well. It should take you through to this booking page, and what that should do is take you through to that live webinar page to make a booking. So to make a booking, you just come through, choose your week, and then you'll also see this new little bit here. You might not have seen this recently. Add-ons now show before you even choose tickets. So I know previously people weren't using add-ons because they were later on in the checkout journey. So now we've brought them forward so parents can see exactly what you've got available and choose what to book, add it to your basket, and then check out. I'm already signed in, so it will let me choose who I want. We've also just today released an update for this page. So if you want a hard age limit on an activity, perfect for holiday camps, if you can't have someone that is 4 years and 2 months join, it basically removes this option to allow them to book. And I'll show you in a little bit where we can see that as well. But for this example, I'm going to say yes. All my booking questions are already saved because I'm logged in and I've booked with this provider before, and then I can choose my add-ons as well. Just down here, I'm going to pop in test 100. Should make it free, and then we can go to book, and then we'll see that booking come through. Just going to have a little look on here and see if we've got any come through so far. Just that one. Cool. So what we'll do from here, I'll log out and I'm going to log in as my non-admin so we can see it from a coach's point of view. And then I'm going to head over to the register of the 28th. So you'll see there's two registers on here. We've got the live webinar one just here as well. So there's a few things that I wanted to run through. The first is the check-in and check-out buttons. Now there are two options. You can have the timestamp to check in and check out, which is a bit more of an advanced feature, or you can just have it to say that the child attended or didn't attend. This example has the timestamps on so that when you click the next button, it's actually going to mark them and record what time they've left. And it also actually shows you the staff member that's done that and the exact times as well. These can be edited if the child came in a little bit earlier than you marked them in for whatever reason. And the same with the checkout time. The next thing to sort of highlight on here is the medical information and the photo and video consent. If they have any medical or allergy considerations to declare, you'll see a little red thermometer just here. If you ever see a question mark, it means they haven't completed that. You, for the most part, will have booking questions turned on during your checkout process. If you're noticing loads of question marks, let us know and we can make sure we get the best settings on for you. It also might be that you've manually added them, so they haven't yet haven't yet done that, they're going to get an email exactly after you send the booking, also 48 hours before and 24 hours before. So if you ever see that, it means they haven't filled it in just yet. You've then also got the child modal. So you might not know if they have got a consideration, you might not know what it is yet. So you can click on the child's name and go through and see those booking questions just here. All of the booking questions that you have listed will show up in this view as well, and you'll see what that medical consideration is. From here, you can also get the parent or customer information. So you'll see it just here, mobile number and email address. If you click on that, it will take you out to WhatsApp as well. And then you can see the full booking here. The next thing that I'll show you on here is this new, relatively new functionality where you can customize the register. So I might only want to see during check-in if they have any send considerations. So I can click done. And it will show me on here that we've got no send declared for anyone. I can also hide this and only open it up child by child, which is really good for that collection password, for example. So if I was to turn all of these on, you'll really start to see that it's a little bit unmanageable to see everything for every child. So you'd want to go and hide it and just pop on the child that's most relevant for you to look at that point. This is customizable on the fly completely, so you can absolutely go in and change your view at any point throughout the day. And that's going to lock to the device that you're using it on, basically. So if you're flicking from a laptop to a phone, you would just need to reset your custom filters. But if you're, always on a phone, you want a particular view, and always on a laptop, you want a different view. That's kind of why we chose those options for you. The next thing that I'll show you as well is you can also filter by a bunch of different filters. So first name, last name, pretty self-explanatory. Medical is going to pop any children with medical considerations to the top. Attendance will bring to the top anyone that you haven't yet checked in. So when I check this person in, they're going to pop down. Really good that you're only seeing a few people or anyone that's not yet attended. It's great for on the door as you're checking children in. Also got photo consent, so you'd be able to group who has and who hasn't got photo consent. Age, ticket type, add-ons, so you can bring add-ons to the top. Booking, this will group children that are on the same booking, but it maybe fall out of, searching by last name for various reasons. So that bookings one is a little unsung hero to check a group of people in at the same time. Next one I'll show you is hidden under more, and you can export. Now with export, you've got two options, print or export into an Excel, and you can completely customize this export to however you want. If you've got custom questions, they'll pop up in here. So you can turn on what is relevant to that export and then choose to print, and it will pop up for you. Or you can do an export and download that. The next thing I wanted to show is per sort of child, and this is looking at the notes and incidents. So you can now add a note and it pops up. So it's going to tell you who left that, when it was left, which activity it was left for, and then the note here. You'll also notice it's got this little 1 here. So what that is telling us all the way from the register is that this child has a note that hasn't yet been actioned. Back when I was being account manager, this would have been absolutely great for knowing when you're checking someone out, do I need to speak to their guardian? So you could use this for, they've got a piece of artwork still drying, or they've lost their water bottle and we want to tell them, whatever it may be, you can have an unactioned note there. As a result. I am a test account at the moment, so I am getting a few errors. But once that's marked as resolved, that will go away. But the note will still remain. It will just remove this little flag here, essentially. And the next one I wanted to show you, similar to a note, is an incident log. So what this is for is any accident or incident, it will essentially collate all of the details that you fill out and save it as a form on that child's account. Non-admins can complete a form, but they can't send it to the parent. And then when we jump to looking at what admins can do in a minute, I'll show you how you can then send those reports in a few clicks to the parent with a little email as well. So to complete this, you would just pop in your name, your company name, role, the child's date of birth, when the accident was. And you can also say if this is a pre-existing injury or illness. So if the child's got a big scratch on their face before coming, you might want to log it as a pre-existing injury. Where did it happen? We're going to go with playground, fell on cut leg. Choose the body part. You can select multiple here. And you've also got not applicable. So if we were logging an incident rather than an accident, we can also have not applicable. If you witnessed, we can say account manager. And then what treatment was given. Just going to put first aid for speed. No further medical assault. And then you can also say if you've already communicated this with the parent or if you haven't yet. So you can say yes, when they were informed and how, plus who you spoke to, or no, and maybe your policy is that you'll add a note to the account once they've been spoken to. Once we submit that, you'll get this little pop-up to say that you can't edit after saving. So we'll say yes, save. If you did need to make edits, you would have to go and delete this form and recreate a new one. So they can't be edited once saved. How that then looks is it's going to save in a timeline against your notes. So you'll have notes, incidents, all in a nice timeline format here. So we could go and add a note once we spoke to the grown-up for this. What that then looks like is you can click back into this and you could save it or print it from here. And then as an admin, we'll also be able to send that on as well. That was kind of everything that I wanted to show for the non-admin side of it. So if we've got any non-admins on that had any questions that they wanted to ask sort of now before jumping off, feel free to pop them in the chat and we'll go through them shortly. I'll give you a few moments to do that, or feel free to unmute as well if you want to, if you have any questions on any of that.
Hiya, can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, we've just got obviously like our camp leads, but we've also got some coaches here, and we were just wondering, is there any way of like a certain individual, like one of our admins, to be notified once a coach fills that in, so it will come like directly to us, and then we can. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so like a notification that an alert's been put on. Not at the moment. It's definitely something that we can feed back. The other options, or the other ways that you would know about it, is this little icon on the registers. That's going to stay there for 24 hours after it's been logged. So what some providers are doing is just having a look at that at the end of the day, clicking in the report from here, and then they'll have a button to send it from there as well. But at the moment, it's not like an automated process. So it'd be your.
But the coach will be able to fill in the details, and then we can go on there as admins, and then we can forward that on to the parents. Yeah.
Exactly that. Yeah. So coach can fill in the details, let you know, or you can keep having a little look at those registers, and then you'll be able to just click into that and forward it on.
Cool. Okay.
I have a question, Holly, if that's all right. Do these incident reports as logs, do they save into a customer file at all? So can I, for example, at midway through the summer, look back at or see an incident report come through, or notice that an incident report's been made, and then cross-reference that against the customer to see if there are similar incidents? And I'm thinking along the lines of not necessarily first aid incidents, etc., but from a sort of safeguarding perspective, if there are a number of incidents that might suggest that there was a bit of an additional eye on that needs to be had on an individual.
Absolutely, yeah. So Where the icon only lasts on the register for 24 hours, if you come through to the customer and click on them, go into their booking history, you'll see any bookings that they've got an incident associated. So you can see it on a customer level, absolutely, but you'd need to know the customer you're looking at.
Yeah, and when we click into those, that brings up the incident report, does it?
Absolutely, yeah. So if we click on the name on that line of the booking, then go over to the notes tab, we'll be able to click on that and see what that incident was as well.
Marvellous. Thank you very much.
And just while we're here, this is the extra button that you'll get with emails. So you can click email report. I'm now logged in as an admin. Say this was, I don't know, a blow to the head report. You might not just want to send over the form as it is. So you can come in and actually add in any additional details. So it could be, you know, here's head, here's the form. Absolutely fine now. And you can also link out to maybe your blow to the head extra information that you might need to share around concussion and things like that. So you can customize this message however you want, and it's going to embed that report that we've already made into the email that goes out to the parents.
And sorry to butt in, is this report here, can that only be sent to the parent through that? There's no way that any other email addresses can go into that?
Not at the moment, but it is something feedback if you want me to, basically. At the moment, it'd be locked to the customer that made the booking for this child.
Okay, that's cool.
What you could do if you needed to send it to an additional parent is download the form. So use the print option.
Yeah.
As PDF, and then do it so you can still do it through Pebble if they've got a customer profile, or you can do it in your own mail client and just attach it as an attachment.
Cool. I was thinking along the lines of GDPR stuff if someone was to accidentally put in a wrong email address, but that's right. I wonder, is there a way that we could in the future potentially as standard link the email address if it goes out to a parent to automatically copy in, for example, the health and safety department within a company?
Potentially, I can definitely insight it. Accident incident is still a very new feature within Pebble, so give us all the feedback you've got essentially of what would be really helpful. Other people have said that they need like a record of all incidents, and like your old school accident book, you would have it all in one place. So what I'd probably suggest for that kind of thing is to be saving them to a central location as you process them. So have a little think about how you want to do that. In the future, we might bring it into somewhere like reporting, so you can have a holistic view of all of that as well. But again, we'll build sort of what everyone asks for and what would be useful. So let us know any feedback of how we can make that feature more helpful for you. Any more questions around the non-admin side of it? Because we're going to jump into, I'm just having a little look at my notes, into all of the admin side of it. So sort of moving and admin in bookings. Yep, cool. So we've just had a little look on how to send an incident report, but for a little refresher, if we click on the dates that we're looking at, our bookings here, and you would literally just go through to the notes section, open the incident, and then click email report. Again, you can add any text that you want to here, also add links, and then send that email out. Next thing I wanted to show everyone was the manual add, because this has had a bit of a facelift recently. So if you, for any reason, need to add someone to a register manually, this could be they don't have access to book online, additional needs, they can't book online, or, you know, they've shown up on the day and forgot they didn't book today or something like that. Whatever it may be, you've got a few options. So we'd come up to more, add an attendee. You could send them the link to book, and it's going to send them the link exactly to this activity so they can book it nice and quickly at the door. Or you could add them and then choose if you're going to charge them or not. So you've got this session and all sessions available, or individual sessions. This now lets you choose multiple days at a time. So previously, if they wanted Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you would have to do it in 3 sort of transactions essentially. But now you can tick what you want. Choose your tickets. So we're going to add the customer. Hopefully I'm in this platform. Yeah. So we can select the customer's account from here. It's going to then fill this in for us. Choose our tickets. and then add the attendee here. So it's going to pull through anyone that this customer's already added. If it's a new customer, you can add them here as well manually. And what we'll do is pop their age in. When you add a new attendee for a customer, it isn't actually going to save that. So only a customer adding a new attendee will save to their account. So if I needed to come back and add Mickey Mouse to a future booking, unless the customer's booked them in, we won't see that again as an option, but we can keep adding them. It just kind of creates a bit of a guest child account for them. Then come through to here. You can choose if you want to send the confirmation email or not. Potentially you're just moving them and you've already spoke to parents and you don't want to confuse the situation. So you can choose not to send them the confirmation email. Confirm that booking. And then you get a few options here. So you can now go and add add-ons, or you can invoice the customer, or you can do both. So in this instance, let's invoice the customer for this. We booked them on for 3 days. I'm going to say they were £25 per day. And choose when it's due, today, tomorrow, or then the standard options. And then you can add a description as well. We're going to just add 3 times day count. Click to save, sorry. And then we can choose to send the invoice directly to that customer or copy it if we're going to share it via other means. So if I press send, we can now then go and manage add-ons. And I'm going to leave add-ons for this booking because I'm going to show you add-ons in a little bit as well. So we'll leave that one there and press done. What you'll now see is this child has been added by the provider. So they'll get this little green icon to show you that they've been manually added. You'll also see that we don't have any medical or allergy information for them or any booking questions at all. So what the customer would have just received is a booking email as well as a booking questions email to go and fill this out. As I said earlier, if they don't fill this in already, they're going to get this 24 hours and 48 hours before this session starts. The next thing I wanted to show you is how to move a booking. So say I now want to move this Monday booking to a Tuesday. We're again going to go up to more, move an attendee. You'll see that it just brings the attendees' names together now. Click
I've
on
got
here.
a quick question, is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
You know, when you send the invoices off to them, how do you know when they've paid them?
Good question. Is it okay if I come? Invoice is my last point. Is it okay if I come?
Oh, okay, right, yeah, cool, that's fine.
I'll show you both ways. Sorry, where these are also linked. It's really hard to get a good flow, but absolutely, I can show you where that is in a minute.
Okay, thanks.
That's all right. So we're going to move Mickey Mouse to the Tuesday. So I've gone more, move attendee, click on Mickey Mouse, and then move. This bit sometimes tricks people up. Potentially, we want to move this book into another camp location or another activity within the same location. So this is if you want to move them to the same activity. But maybe I want to move them to this camp examples activity here. So I'm going to type in the activity I want to move them to. Searching for it. We've got it here. And then I can choose the schedule and the dates. The other option is moving them to a different day within the same activity, and I can just click on that square and it'll take me straight through.
Holly, sorry, just a quick question with that one. If there's a difference in pricing between the event that they're moving from and to, will Pebble take that into account?
No, so we will just move the booking and then you can go and invoice for it.
Right. Okay.
I'm trying to move them to the same day, which isn't very good, is it? But I'll show you the screen that you'll get just to remind you of that as well. So it will say here, Pebble will not process any different in the cost between these sessions. That will be needed to be handled by yourself. And then when we get onto invoicing, I can show you how that looks as well.
Cool, thank you.
That's all right. Again, you can choose to send the confirmation to the customer, confirm that move. And that one is all moved over to, where did I move them to? I think I just moved them to the next day. Yeah. So we can see we've now got a moved icon as well. The next thing that I wanted to show you was how to manage add-ons. So if who's got some add-ons? I think I put one on Lola. Perfect. So on Lola Thompson here, if we need to change her add-on, so say, for example, she's booked Monday, extended care, but we want to change it to Tuesday. all I would need to do is find Lola Thompson from anywhere. So this could be done from bookings or from customer as well. This doesn't have to be done from the register. Come over to the add-ons tab and then manage add-ons. So you'll see I've got 2 add-ons for early drop-off and nothing else at the moment. So I can edit that. Maybe we want to move the Tuesday to a Wednesday. And we also want to add a Monday late pickup. Again, we can email or not email the customer about this and then save the changes. And then it will tell you what we've added. So where I've only moved the early drop off from one day to another, it's not going to, remind me to invoice for that because we're just moving it around. But it's saying you've added a late pickup. So I can now go and invoice the customer. Again, maybe this is £5. And again, save and send to the customer. Now, anytime that you're doing this, this invoicing part at the end of a booking flow, it will actually save that to here and show you a related invoice. So there's 2 places that you can check this. You've got the related invoices here, and you can see it's unpaid. Or you can go into your dashboard, scroll all the way down to request a payment, manage invoices. And you'll see those 2 new ones that I've got there. So you can see anything that's overdue, paid. The other options that you have, click on that in options. You can resend it, copy the link if you want to WhatsApp or text them. If they paid, maybe on site in cash or via bank transfer, you can mark it as paid. Or you can also void a payment as well. So you've got a few options. Once that then refreshes, you should see those in there. And for example, for this one that's been marked as paid, if we hover over it, it will tell you when it was paid. And you could also come in to the booking by clicking on related booking and add a little note of how it was paid, just to keep everything tidied up.
I just got a quick question on that.
Yeah.
So these ones that are obviously overdue and the ones that you're waiting for,
Yeah.
Will they show up on the registers while they're still overdue or unpaid?
They will still show up on the register, yeah. There's no sort of call out on the register itself to say that this money is outstanding. What it would look like, let me just go back and show you. So you wouldn't see it from this view, but you would be able to see it once you've clicked on them.
Holly, sorry, while Chris is having a moment, it would be really useful if there was some alert to the fact that they hadn't paid on the register on first view, just so at a glance people are aware in the instant that they need to click in to the customer to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. What I can do is put that in as an insight, and maybe you can pop me a little email after as well, just of how you would want that to look, essentially, with a few more details. Would you want
there are some in some groups there is an icon that does, I'm sure, say that someone is outstanding. I can't remember where I saw it, but just some sort of icon on the screen that you've got there, for example.
Yeah. On the register view.
Yeah. So I think it's a little pound sign or something that I've seen in the past.
I think we might have something from our bookings tab on subscriptions.
Maybe.
But yeah, I can definitely insight it because I can see why that would be super helpful as well.
Yeah, cool, thank you.
That's all right.
Is that any better? Can you hear me now?
That is better, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, I've just connected to my phone. Yeah, I was just going to say, on that where you went back to the app where it's saying overdue and things at the bottom of the dashboard.
I'll get back to there for you.
So is this, I asked a question earlier about monitoring when they've paid. Do we just have to go onto the bank and then just sign it off on here manually?
So if they have paid through the link, so let me show you how this would look to a customer. So they're going to get an email saying you have an invoice, and then it will take them through to this. So they can then pay card here, or they can pay Google Pay as well. If they pay through this link, it will automatically reconcile it for you and change this status to paid. If they pay you, if they know they've got it and they pay you cash or a direct bank transfer, because they already have your details from another way, then that's when you'd have to go in and mark it as paid.
Oh, on that part that you just had on the invoice,
Yeah.
yeah. Where, because we always get sometimes a little bit of difficulty of them going on to childcare vouchers on Poncho Pay. Is it
Okay.
would it have that option on there, or is that just
The
through?
option for childcare vouchers isn't available on invoices at the moment.
Okay.
So
All right,
it
thank
would
you.
be paid, yeah, by one of the other options on there. They also don't have the option for Klarna on here. A bit of a temporary solution or a bit of a workaround. Don't typically like to use those words, but is to like rebook them onto something, so that they do have that option, or ask them to book. You could potentially set up like an unlisted activity just for them, if they do want those options, and if that is important to you.
Holly, on that, is there any plan to put Klarna or childcare vouchers on invoices in the future?
There's been discussion. Nothing's officially sort of in the roadmap at the moment, but again, can always be added as an insight, and keep you updated on that one.
Cool. And secondly, the you mentioned about brain freeze. Where I'm going with that. You mentioned about with the invoices that it doesn't show on the register if they've paid, and you've got to mark it as paid manually if they've paid cash, for example. Mm-hmm. In the event of them paying cash, for example, do Pebble take into account the fact that they've booked without going through Pebble's system, and then retrospectively charge providers for that booking through invoice or something?
No, so if you just mark it as paid, it's not like we're still going to take the platform fee off you. Essentially, if it goes through as an invoice that they pay directly through Pebble, you'll be charged at your regular percent. But if they've paid cash, for example, we're not going to then go and invoice you for the booking fee. No.
So you're losing out every time someone pays cash?
We are, unfortunately, yes.
No.
But the option is still there for you to mark it as paid, and keep everything nice and clean and tidy. But we completely understand that sometimes people pay off platform. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
That's all right. The next one I wanted to show you is just cancelling and refunding, because this can sometimes get a little bit confusing. Again, you can do this from anywhere that you can get to that child's name. So from bookings, from customer, or from the register, whatever's sort of more native to you and your role. So you would find the exact booking that you're looking for, and here you can see what they've booked, and then you can do cancel and refund. So you might want to cancel this booking so that they're no longer on the register, or you might just want to refund as a gesture of goodwill for some reason, but keep them on the register. So you've got those two options. In this one, we're going to cancel the booking, and it's a refund optional. I'm going to choose to cancel just Tuesday, and then I can have only cancel or cancel with a refund. And then it's going to show me the booking. This one was actually discounted by 100%, so it's not going to let me refund. But essentially on this screen, you would just input how much you want to give as a refund, and then click through to process. I show you it with cancellation only. You'll select the reason why. If it's other, you can say why, and then click next. This will show up to the parents as well of why it was cancelled. And then you can say, again, if you want to send that out or not. Confirm, and then that's all done. Again, if you wanted to see what's then happened, so you've got a cross through now on that one, you can come back and do the same thing for any other days.
Oh, I've got a question on this one.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's us or whether it's our Stripe system, but sometimes when we try and refund, it doesn't allow them. I don't know whether it's like, is it like insufficient? Because like Stripe takes money out, and if there's nothing in there, they can't refund. I don't know if anyone else has a problem or whether it's something in our Stripe settings or something. But
yeah, I can have a look into that for you, Chris. We essentially have two versions of the Stripe Connect products that we use with accounts, and the Stripe Express will allow you to go negative and basically debit your bank account. So I can look into that for you, and if you're on the other version, we can look at switching you over and sort of the pros and cons that go with it, so I can pick with you separately.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
That's
was that question with regards to like Poncho Pay and tax-free childcare and refunding in the event that someone has paid through tax-free childcare?
So that particular question, no. But to answer that, you can cancel it, but you would have to refund them through your whichever provider. So the standard route for cancelling and refunding a booking through tax-free childcare. What people typically do, because that's quite a lot of steps and removed from Pebble, is cancel the booking as long as it's in your booking T's and C's. Issue credit for via a discount code for those bookings, essentially.
Okay.
Just different schemes have different ways of refunding, and you would have to go through the original scheme, essentially.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just before you move on, with cancellations and refunds, is there is that data collated into one central location, so that, for example, at the end of the summer period, we could look back and have an oversight of number of bookings cancelled, number of refunds given, and for what reason?
Yeah, that's a good question. You've got a few options. So you would be able to export and see like an Excel document to really go into the details.
Yeah.
You've then got this reporting tab on performance, so you can see how many cancelled.
Oh, that's cool.
What this won't necessarily do for you, though, is tell you why it was cancelled, but then you go and dig into the details from that through other means. So you could have a look at that, look through the register and the bookings, and find those ones that were cancelled and kind of do it that way.
Right.
It'll definitely show you how many. So maybe one particular sum account has a way higher cancellation rate than another. So you do have that oversight there as well.
Great, thank you.
With this reporting page, I know it's quite new, isn't it? But so is that the only reason why it only goes back to January of this year at the moment? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I was trying to look at last year and I couldn't, but I realised it was brand new. So.
Yeah, it's brand new. I think when we brought it out, it went forward and we've back populated it a little bit, but I don't think we're going to go back any further than January this year, unfortunately. The next thing I wanted to show you was invoicing. We have touched on it a little bit, but if we go through the booking journey, it'll ultimately be related to a booking, but you can do it just ad hoc as well. So for example, I don't know what reason, I used to work at a residential camp in New York, and we might have bought a new pair of trainers for a child because they broke theirs and they needed new ones. So you could maybe invoice ad hoc for that here. So you'd say who you're sending it to, which is the customer's name, copy in their email. And if there is an associated email, it will add that to that customer account. So let me pop this in and show you. So essentially, you'll see that this then goes blue because there's a customer to associate it to. You can click on that. And you've also got an invoice tab to see all outstanding invoices for that particular customer as well. So there's lots of different ways to go in and manage invoices. I know we've sort of gone through invoices a few different ways. Any questions on invoices or anything else that we've covered so far? Again, feel free to unmute or put a question in the chat.
Is there, Holly, likely to be any further webinar, or sort of explanation sessions on invoices specifically, because it's quite a massive thing, and it's something that we're likely to be using a lot of products that we're not currently able to put on Pebble.
Yeah. There isn't a planned session at the moment, but it doesn't mean there can't be. I head up the webinars anyway, so if that's something that people want, then yeah. If it's not sort of super popular topic, I can definitely do a session with you as well. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. What I'll probably do is we'll chat with my team in Sersha, and as it comes up, we'll reach out.
Absolutely. No, that sounds good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are these webinars? Have these been going on for a while? Because this is my first one, but I think it's going to be really useful for all my coaches and my admin to go forward. And maybe I've just not been on any.
Webinar program is very, very new to Pebble. So
Nice.
the context and everything around it is getting a little bit bigger and better. But yeah, we're going to scale up the program now that we've got more numbers joining us. So we'll pop out a little survey of what topics you want, and and things like that. And then we'll also follow a bit of a calendar. So obviously we're doing this because it's camp season, but then we'll put for wraparound and after school clubs, and so on and so forth. So there'll definitely be more and more. And yeah, let us know basically how you want to hear about them. We don't want to bombard you, but we do want to make sure you have access to them. So we're probably going to have a bit of a calendar page as well of what's coming up. So yeah.
Nice.
Holly, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Just going back to the register view that the coaches can see, and primarily because I'm being Ofsted inspected this summer. So one of the key things I want to see is obviously SEN and any kind of health things, medical things.
Yep.
They're top priority, and Ofsted will ask us about that. Now, when I set it up, and I've just done it on mine, but it doesn't flow through is there any way I can set this up so the whole system for my organisation is the same?
In terms of like the questions that are asked?
Yeah, so the view of SEN, and I can see it on one register, and I flip to another one and it wasn't on there. How do I set it up so everything across all my registers are in the same view?
Yeah, so the views are based on what that activity has asked at booking. So if one particular activity hasn't asked the question of SEN won't be an option to add in.
Yeah.
With that said, we have recently, let me just flick back to the admin view. We have recently just launched question groups for this specific reason, so that nothing gets kind of left out. So what you can do.
So if I customize, so I understand we can't have it everywhere. Each coach will need to do their own. If I customize myself, the register, will that be the same customized view that my coach will see?
No, so it'll be per device. So you just have to advise them what views to have a look at, but they will have access to all that information anyway. It'll just be customizing view.
So there's no way I can force that view. Okay.
Not at the moment, but it's definitely been something that's fed back and we're looking into.
Because that would be quite useful, because I've got quite a few coaches and I would expect them to be able to see SEN and everything, as a instant view.
Yeah, exactly. I think the best thing to do would be to advise them at this point how to customize it.
Yeah, okay.
And then even send them this webinar so they know how to do it. But yeah, absolutely. Having like a set view that you want them to have is really super handy as well.
I'd just second that, what Nick's brought forward, because I mean, we've got, just thinking of my staff, some of them not the most technologically gifted, to be polite. And what might seem simple and get them to customize might actually be a blocker.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can definitely feed that back and see heaps of benefits, because
and when they customize it, so say they customize it for a register on Tuesday, will that for them flow through to the same on Wednesday?
Yes, it will. Yeah.
So they don't need to go in and change each day.
So this will just stay however you keep it, and then if I go to as long as it's got the same questions on each activity, it will stay exactly the same.
Okay. So that in itself will help, because they don't have to keep redoing it.
Exactly. They'll just get the view set once on their phone, as long as they're not refreshing their cookies. So like clearing all browsing data, because that's how this is kept. But yeah.
And then an unrelated question.
Yeah.
So my coaches are on their device, they're accessing the data. When they come out of it and go back in the next day, and I'm not sure, do they have to re-sign in? I'm just thinking of data privacy and protection.
Not necessarily. It won't force them to log out. They can stay signed in, but that can be, your guidance is that they log out at the end of the session if you're using it.
So maybe in the future there might be an option that maybe it's a forced log out, so they have to log back in just for privacy of data.
No, absolutely, completely understand that. I can definitely feed that back as well.
Okay.
One thing as well that I did want to show is this option to group registers. So for example, you might have a multi-sport and a multi-craft program running at the same time, and you might have a camp manager that's responsible for all of those children all at once. So they might want a grouped view. So this is something that you'd need to request through our support channel. But essentially what this view will then do is merge these two registers. And I just wanted to show you, because some of the new features, message, customize, and move and all of that good stuff, isn't available on the grouped registers. So I just wanted to show you what it looks like. So it will just be your registers here, and then again, if they've attended or not attended. So there isn't the time stamping on this one. However, you will see when we go back to this register that they are marked as attended. So if I go back to the regular registers on the 28th, you will see they're marked in. It just won't timestamp it. So it's not a perfect mirror of that register, but it will say that that child's in with you. And you do obviously lose the customize feature, but you can still filter. So some people find this really helpful for in the morning when you're not necessarily registering them into groups, but for early drop off, you might just want all grouped registers. Again, if you want to set that up, reach out to support and they can take the details. We can get that set up for you. You do still have the functionality to click in and see what they've booked from here as well. So you still have all of that. It's just not these new functions at the top. The one final thing I wanted to give you a bit of a sneak peek to, and I know this is super, super handy for camps, is that you can now restrict the age limit. So you might remember previously, if someone was booking outside your age limit, it would say, flash up and say, this is intended for this age group. Do you still wish to book? Now you have only allow bookings strictly within this age range. If I turn that on and show you what it looks like. Essentially, previously, this would let you continue and bypass this when this was just kind of a rough guideline of age. But for this activity now, it won't let them book. So yeah, that is a really nice feature to have, especially at this point in the year. If you haven't got that on your activities at the moment, I would always just recommend having a little look through your bookings. And then anyone that's got a red age range will be there outside of your current age range. So you can either pop them a call, move them around. And it's worth noting that this is their age range at point of booking. So if they're going to turn that particular age before the activity, it won't let them book just yet. So just be mindful of that. You might want to manually add them if that's the case in that overlap time.
So Holly, on that,
yeah,
where we do some of the after school clubs and we say it's key stage 2, age 7 to 11.
Yeah.
Okay. It seems to only accept them up until precisely 11. Above that, where 11 for me would be, they could be 11 and 6 months. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So now that would reject it. They wouldn't be allowed to book.
Exactly, but it's up to you if you want to turn this option on or not.
Okay.
Per activity as well. So you feel people really needed this for camps to not have the younger children at camp for offset reasons. So on a camp, you can say this is a hard age limit, but on your after school clubs, you can not have this option on and keep it as is, or you could get specific down to the month of 11 and X amount of months. So you've got two options there.
Yeah.
But that should be a little bit helpful, and it's a little sneak peek because it only went live this morning. But yeah, that is pretty much all of my tips for admin your bookings over the summer. We do also have a marketing guide for little bits that kind of might help you with a few last minute bookings. I'll make sure to pop that in the email that goes out to you guys as well. You probably would have received them already anyway. They've been going out over the last couple of weeks. But one of my favorite ones that's often missed, I'll show you in here, is this thank you for coming email. So it's in communications, thank you for coming. And what that's going to do is the last booking that someone has with you, it's going to
wicked.
Send the message, essentially. You just need to enable it. It's only going to go to people that are opted into marketing. And the reason we've done that is so that you can invite them back to book, maybe with a discount code if you want, or you can just pop your booking link in there. Save the changes and that'll go out to everyone that's had their last booking with you. So if they've booked for the first week of summer, invite them back, basically. But yeah.
Sorry, Holly, I just realised I have my audio on. That's really good.
That's all right. That is everything from me. But thank you so much for spending pretty much an hour with me talking all things Pebble and admin and stuff. I know it's not the most exciting topic in the world, but hopefully you're feeling a bit more confident with some of the newer features and what you're able to do. If you've got any feedback, feel free to pop it over to me or to support, and we'll make sure it goes through the appropriate channels so we can actually action it. And we do have another webinar starting in a little minute with one of our customers who's talking about how to acquire new customers. So if you are interested in that, let us know and I will get you the link.
Hi, Holly. Sorry, could I ask you a few questions quickly?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Thanks. On the thank you for coming, you said it would send it after their last booking with you.
Yes.
So if they've made multiple bookings over the summer, does that apply then for all their bookings, the last session, or is it per booking then?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I should clarify. It will send it each time a booking ends. So if they booked, say for example, they booked all 6 weeks within one booking, it will only send it at the end of that. If they booked the first week and then the third week maybe in 2 separate bookings, they're going to get it on both Fridays essentially. So yeah, it will send at the end of each booking.
Okay, great. And then just on the age range where you were saying you could set it to be specifically to a certain age, the gentleman that asked the question earlier about 11 years, I mean, you could set it to months instead of years and do, you know, so it still allows that additional buffer period for children.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd just be mindful that if it doesn't let you save your activity, sometimes there's a small bug. If you've got years and months mixing, so just try and keep them both the same. We'll always do it.
Okay.
But I think where this has just gone live, that bug might have re-popped its head up. So just be mindful of that one as well.
Excellent. You're a star. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Well, as I say, thank you so much for joining me. I'll pop the recording of this as soon as it's processed through to you guys, as well as a guide to walk you through everything and the marketing guide as well. And you'll probably get a survey for webinars and what you want to see coming forward. So please answer that when it does come to you, and we can continue to make these better and better and useful for you essentially. Have a lovely rest of your day and we'll speak soon. Bye.
Thank you, Holly. Really appreciate your help.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thanks, Holly.